Hello and welcome. Today, we'll dive into one of the most dramatic and mysterious encounters in the Bible, the story of Jacob, the man who wrestled with God. Jacob's life was filled with struggle, from wrestling with his own identity to striving with others. But nothing was as life-changing as the night he grappled with God himself. Join us as we explore Jacob's story, his journey of faith, and the incredible transformation that followed this divine encounter. Stay with us to uncover powerful spiritual lessons we can draw from this ancient yet timeless story. Jacob's story begins with a prophecy even before his birth. Genesis 25 verse 23 tells us that Rebekah, Jacob's mother, felt her twin sons struggling within her womb. When she inquired of the Lord, she was told, "Two nations are in your womb, and two peoples from within you will be separated. One people will be stronger than the other, and the older will serve the younger." This prophecy set the stage for Jacob's life, a life marked by conflict, struggle, and a quest for blessing. As the twins grew, Jacob and Esau became very different. Esau, the older, was a skilled hunter, a man of the field. Jacob, on the other hand, was quiet, staying close to the tents and favoring the company of his mother. This difference in personalities led to favoritism in the family, with Isaac favoring Esau and Rebekah favoring Jacob, Genesis 25 verses 27 to 28. This division would soon lead to one of the Bible's most famous stories of deception. Esau, as the firstborn, held the birthright, which meant he was entitled to a double portion of the inheritance and a special blessing from his father. But one day, after returning from the field exhausted and famished, Esau found Jacob cooking stew. Driven by his hunger, Esau made a hasty decision. In Genesis 25 verses 30 to 34, Esau agrees to sell his birthright to Jacob for a bowl of stew, stating, "What good is the birthright to me?" This moment revealed Esau's disregard for his birthright and Jacob's ambitious nature. However, Jacob's ambition didn't stop there. With encouragement from his mother, Jacob disguised himself as Esau and deceived his aging father, Isaac, into giving him the blessing meant for Esau, Genesis 27. When Esau discovered the deception, he was furious, declaring that he would kill Jacob. Fearing for his life, Jacob fled to his uncle Laban's home in Haran. Jacob's journey away from his family marked the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter of self-discovery, struggle, and eventually redemption. As Jacob traveled toward Haran, he stopped to rest for the night. With a stone as his pillow, Jacob fell asleep and had a life-changing vision. In Genesis 28 verse 12, we read, "He had a dream in which he saw a stairway resting on the earth, with its top reaching to heaven, and the angels of God were ascending and descending on it. In this vision, God stood above the ladder, reaffirming the covenant he made with Abraham, promising to give Jacob and his descendants the land on which he lay. God's words were clear. 'I am with you and will watch over you wherever you go,' Genesis 28 verse 15. This promise brought comfort and reassurance to Jacob, a man who had left everything familiar behind. Upon awakening, Jacob declared, 'Surely the Lord is in this place, and I was not aware of it,' Genesis 28 verse 16. He named the place Bethel, meaning house of God, and vowed that if God would protect him, he would serve him. This was Jacob's first personal encounter with God and a turning point in his faith journey. When Jacob arrived in Haran, he fell in love with Rachel, Laban's daughter, and agreed to work 7 years for her hand in marriage. However, Laban deceived him, giving him Leah, Rachel's older sister, instead. Jacob then worked an additional 7 years to marry Rachel. This period was marked by hardship and patience, but Jacob's family grew. and he became prosperous under God's guidance. After years of service, God called Jacob to return to his homeland, setting the stage for his life-altering encounter. As Jacob prepared to reunite with Esau, he faced overwhelming fear. Would Esau still seek revenge? With this anxiety weighing heavily on him, Jacob found himself alone by the Jabbok River. And it was here, in the dark silence, that a mysterious figure appeared and wrestled with Jacob all night long. This man was no ordinary man, but God himself, appearing in human form, Genesis 32 verses 24 to 28. This struggle was both physical and spiritual, symbolizing Jacob's lifelong battle with his identity, his past, and his desire for God's blessing. As dawn approached, the man touched Jacob's hip, dislocating it. Yet Jacob held on, declaring, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." It was a declaration of desperate dependence on God. In response, God gave Jacob a new name, Israel, meaning he who struggles with God. This renaming symbolized Jacob's transformation from a man of deceit to a man of faith. He was no longer defined by his past actions, but by his relationship with God. After this encounter, Jacob approached Esau with humility, bowing to him 7 times. To Jacob's surprise, Esau ran to him, embraced him, and kissed him. In Genesis 33 verse 4, we see a beautiful moment of reconciliation, but Esau ran to meet Jacob and embraced him. He threw his arms around his neck and kissed him, and they wept. This reunion was not just a resolution of their personal conflict, but a testament to God's ability to heal and restore broken relationships. Jacob's later years were marked by both sorrow and blessing. He faced the grief of losing his beloved wife, Rachel, and the pain of believing his son Joseph was dead. However, Jacob was also blessed to see God's faithfulness as his family grew and prospered. At the end of his life, Jacob blessed each of his sons, prophesying over them the future of the tribes of Israel, Genesis 49. His legacy continued through his descendants, fulfilling God's promise to Abraham. Jacob's story is one of struggle, transformation, and redemption. From a young man who deceived to gain blessings, Jacob became a man who wrestled with God to seek his favor. His life teaches us that faith is not about perfection. It's about persistence, growth, and dependence on God. Jacob's encounter with God at the Jabbok River reminds us that, in our struggles, God is not distant but is willing to meet us, challenge us, and transform us. Thank you for joining us as we explored the life of Jacob, the man who fought with God. If you found this story inspiring, I invite you to like, share, and subscribe for more biblical stories and lessons. Until next time, may your faith be strengthened, and may you find God's presence in your own journey.